Hola, ¿cómo estás? Sí, yo soy M. Angel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Verónica. Verónica. I know I'm giving a lot of energy right now. I don't know what just happened. This movie does not actually beg for that kind of energy, so I'm just gonna take it down. Today we'll be reviewing the movie Verónica. It's a Netflix movie, and Ovela and I were just sitting on the couch one evening, and he thought, hey, there's a new horror movie on Netflix. And I thought, it's been a very long time since I've seen a horror movie. And I'm very particular about horror movies. Let's give it a chance. It's Spanish, and they do horror well. And it's by Paco Plaza, and he did Rec. There's an American version. The name is not coming to me. Let me just talk about my relationship with horror movies first. If you're like me, you don't like gore. You don't like slasher, you only like a very specific type of horror movie, which is story heavy, intrigue, suspense, makes you think, makes you wonder, and actually makes you feel like this could be real. I'm talking about Paranormal Activity, The Conjuring, The Blair Witch Project, Cabin in the Woods, even Insidious and Sinister to a certain extent. But those kind of James Wan movies, the less you see, the more is left to the imagination, the better it works for me. If you're that type of person, I think you're gonna like Verónica. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have some visuals, because there are some disturbing visuals, but I survived them. And as a chicken baby, I didn't think I could survive it. Scary scenes with scary figures wasn't that scary. I was like, oh, guy in a suit. Now, we could start a whole discussion about possession and how much of it is mental health issues, how much of it is actual paranormal activity. I have a hard time believing, I think 99% of ghost stories. I did play quite a bit with the Ouija board. Guilty. And I actually had it under my bed. Yeah. And no, I didn't say goodbye at the end. I'm still open to the possibility that there are things that either we can't explain or there are explanations and they're not always ghosts. Like I said, it's based on a true story, which all good horror movies are. But I like the story because it's different. It's not your slasher movie. It's more about a girl who is conflicted, who is going through things, who is experiencing things no one else can see, except for one freakishly creepy nun. She was boss. I loved her. So it's telling a story differently. It's telling a more believable, more realistic story than girl is possessed, girl starts to kill everybody in the home kind of stories that we're expecting, that we're used to. It is much more interesting to see girl is trying to protect her family from herself. And the movie, I think, does a great job at building intrigue and suspense. You're often oscillating between, okay, this is clearly mental illness, and oh, this might actually be possession. You're never actually sure of one or the other. Yes, the movie's in Spanish, by the way, for those who don't know, so get ready to read a lot of subtitles, and the Spanish speak fast. So them subtitles sometimes were a blip on the screen, and I was like, what did they just say? And it's not even like I could rely on my grade school Spanish to get me through because it's fast. Speed. Love it, but can't understand it. Luckily, it's a horror movie. You don't really need words to understand. I want to say I'm proud of this movie for not relying on jump scares. They don't use silly American cheap tricks to get the point across. They really dive into story to get you to feel uncomfortable and scary, and visuals. The kids, oh my gosh, the kids are amazing. Their acting is so on point. They're so natural and realistic and believable. They did a fantastic job at just being kids. And Verónica as well. I think she did a fantastic job. I don't know if there's so much more I can say without going into any spoilers. So I would just say if you like the movies that I mentioned, you know, Cabin in the Woods, Paranormal Activity, Blair Witch Project, Insidious, The Conjuring, this is a movie that will really interest you. And as a person who watches horror movies and then I can't sleep for like days, I had maybe a kind of uncomfortable night. And I watched it at night, and I watched it at night. But I managed to sleep, so it doesn't get so much so under your skin. To be fair, that could also be because I've evolved in the way that I consider ghost stories. After watching Dr. Phil, which I recommend a lot of people watch because therapy, I've really learned that the human brain is a lot more complicated than we give it credit for. And mental illness is a bad mamma jamma. It's real things and it's human. It's the brain. So I was hoping we would get more context on this story so that I could decipher what is based on truth and what is based on fiction in this movie. You do get a little bit of the police report at the end of the movie, but still not enough to go, oh, okay, so this might actually be paranormal. Or this girl was mentally ill and nobody caught it, you know? I thought aliens in a fourth dimension. We live in a three-dimensional world, and imagine there are beings that live in a fourth dimension. They can see us, they can interact with us, but we can't interact with them, you know? That could be the nature of some of these ghost activities. And if there's one thing I've learned from watching horror movies and from personal experience, don't play with the Ouija board. It's not a game. I'm gonna share with you my personal experience. So sit tight. I was a teenager in middle school. My friends and I, for some reason, got into spooky things and we just wanted more from life. I went to Toys R Us with my father and that's where we bought the Ouija board. Yes, it's sold at a toy store, of all places. Mine was glow in the dark. We would do seances in the bathroom at school. We would do seances at sleepovers. Sometimes it would move. Apparently one girl had more connection to the other realm than others. I was jealous. I wanted to be special too. I quickly learned that you don't want to be special when it comes to this kind of thing. I would practice in my bedroom. Yes, in my bed, all alone. At night, I would spend hours sitting there asking for any spirit to come and talk to me. One day, I actually spelled out the beginnings of one girl's grandma's name that I didn't know, and she was freaking out. She was like, that's my grandmother's name. Yes, I did it. I contacted the other world. She wasn't even touching the thing, so it's not like she moved it. Just wanted to make that note. But one night, things got weird. Okay, there were many nights where things got weird, but this one night, I can never explain it. I was in my bedroom, getting ready to go to sleep, had school the next day. I didn't feel alone in my bedroom. I should preface this with saying that I had watched some kind of ghost hunting TV series a few hours before, and they had mentioned that if you are in the presence of a presence, you just have to acknowledge it, ask it to leave, and it will go away. Okay, sure, because that's how ghosts are, right? Very compliant. That's what I did. I was about to change and I was like, listen, spirit, espiritu, you need to get up out of here. I know you're here and it's fun and you want to hang out with me. And yes, I do keep my Ouija board under my bed. So technically the portal's always open. Yes, I never said goodbye. My mistake. But you're not welcome. So basta. Leave. Pronto. Thank you. I get to changing. There's a fan in my room. I know it was off. I turn around because I hear a sound and the fan is spinning. You know the fans that are like encaged, so you can't touch it. Odd. I stare at it unbelievingly for a while, but I tell myself it might be a breeze, maybe it short-circuited. I put on my jammies in a hurry, I sneak into my bed, and I can see my whole room from my bed. So I'm sitting in my bed, eyes huge, scanning the room for any activity, telling the room I'm about to go to sleep now, so please leave me alone. Terrified, heart beating. All of a sudden, my closet. Not unlike the closet in this movie, the doors start to shake as if someone is trying to push it from inside the closet. I bolted out of my bedroom, went across the hallway into my little sister's bedroom. I am trembling, I am crying, shaking my sister away. Please, I'm scared. There's something in my room. I don't know what's going on, but something moved in the closet and I'm terrified to go to sleep. I can't go in there alone. My sister's half awake and she's just like, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, fine, whatever. I'll come and spend the night with you. She gets up, she just walks into my bedroom like there's nothing, and she goes into my bed and she just goes straight back to sleep. I slowly walk back into my bedroom and I'm staring at that closet because you know I gotta open it. Like I gotta find out what happened. Did something fall maybe? I need to rationalize this so I can go to bed. I summon my courage, hold the doorknob, open the closet in one quick swoop. There's nothing on the floor of the closet, so it doesn't look like anything fell. Behind my closet, behind the wall, there's our bathroom. I tried to think maybe somebody knocked the bathroom. No one was in the bathroom. Plus that had never happened before in my life. What really got to me is that nothing was on the floor. I was expecting to see a blanket that had fallen, my shirt or something that was on a shelf. No, everything was normal. I closed the closet, went to bed, and I don't think I slept a wink that night. The next day, I gathered that Ouija board and threw it in the recycling bin. Yes, I should have burned it. Ever since this happened, and this was like what, 2005, 2006, I had never been comfortable in my bedroom. Luckily, my family moved out of that home, so I don't have to deal with that, but things would happen in that home that my very religious Catholic mother would be like, yes, there was a spirit. I wanted to share the story just to say that I understand when people say there are things that we can't explain and maybe that there are things happening in another dimension or ghosts, even though the concept of ghosts is very hard for me to swallow. Energy, I don't know what it is, but there are things that are hard to explain. I hope you enjoyed my little spooky, true, very true story. I hope that you're not watching this at night. It doesn't get under your skin. I hope that me reliving this doesn't get under my skin. I hope I can sleep tonight. I'm gonna have to do some stuff like watch The Office and laugh a lot to get it out of my system. There you have it, Verónica. I definitely recommend watching this Netflix movie. It is enjoyable if you like the movies I mentioned. Your turn to talk. Have you watched it? Do you like horror movies? Do you have any inexplicable stories of your own to share and you've been dying to tell someone? Comment section below. I invite you to share them. I'm Angel signing off. May peace be with you.